your side, streaming on your favorite devices. WLBT First Alert Weather Plus. WLBT's First Alert Weather Team is committed to your safety with 6 hours of continuous team coverage.
This is a relentless storm, Dave.
We're fortunate we all made it out alive.
And our network of skycams across the state alerting you to danger, bringing you live footage of tornadoes as they touch down in Wathau County.
Look at this, Chase. Guys, look at that.
This is ground zero almost. I mean, this is really hard to stomach, like I said.
We take our commitment to being on your side seriously, and together we're Mississippi Strong. Weekdays, stream First Alert Weather Plus.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
WLBT's First Alert Weather Team is keeping you up to date with the latest information. From your morning commute to your afternoon drive, we're on your side, streaming on your favorite devices. WLBT First Alert Weather Plus.
Good afternoon. Chief Meteorologist Dave Roberts here, along with meteorologist Elise Ushman. How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Had the rain this morning. That was kind of nice. Plants were happy. I was happy. Were you happy?
I was happy.
Okay, good. And
it just stopped raining when I went to walk outside.
There you go. So you got your walk in with the doggo?
Yep. Doggo.
Very nice. Very nice. And now we're talking about the fact that we're going to be looking at another round of showers. Although this next round, I'm not so sure about the intensity. And then we've got another one coming in tomorrow. The good thing is we can kind of time these things out for you. And they're not really going to be an all-day event. It's not really going to be a strung-out event. We don't see it as being an overly severe event either. So that's the good news on that. Why don't you tell us what you're looking at right now on radar?
We've got a few scattered showers. I do have lightning turned on. You can see that little cluster that was to our west. Some of the little bolts showed up, but they're not showing up here. So looks like we've just got some light to moderate rain passing through. I just heard it at this station a little while ago. It's now over in Pelahatchie, just north of Canton. And in Canton, you're probably about to get that second little batch that's just to the west of you. Also, a little bit of light to moderate rain in the Singleton area, just north of Carthage. But otherwise, we've still got mostly dry conditions for the moment. This is new. The Storm Prediction Center has increased our risk, not upgraded.
Upgrade is a weird. I get what you mean. Yeah. I know what you mean though, but some people would call it upgraded, but you're right. Yeah. It's not really the best term, I guess, for this. Yeah.
They have increased our risk to now a slight risk that looks about like the risk for today looked yesterday, but now all of us are under the level 2 for today. And 2/3 of you are under the level 2 for tomorrow. So maybe we see it expanded again, like what we saw today, and everybody's under level 2. Regardless, all it means is we have some energy in the atmosphere. There will be some severe thunderstorms if they can tap into that potential that's in the atmosphere. And if they do, what they're going to bring us is going to be likely some strong to damaging wind gusts, 60, maybe 70 miles per hour, or quarter to ping pong ball sized hail. The tornado threat's still very, very low. I checked as I was putting this show together. There was still not really anything to show you at the time that we're going to have the storms in the picture. So it's really not worth putting in there because there's not anything to show you, which is good news.
So, we really are at the tail end. We're really at the tail end of severe weather season. This severe weather season, as you know, we have 2 during the year, but this severe weather season, and you can tell why. These outbreaks, they don't have the same oomph. And by the time they get here, they're not really outbreaks. They're outbreaks still in Texas and parts of Louisiana and Arkansas and Missouri. But when you get over here, we're just a little bit too far south and east out of the main storm area. And so we're on the fringe. And that's why we get these potential isolated severe weather events. Now, we're in the thunderstorm zone. It doesn't take much to get a horrible thunderstorm going here in Mississippi. But the dynamics just aren't there for widespread activity today. maybe tomorrow we'll see if that system can get itself going, but I have my doubts. This morning it rained so long and it stayed cloudy so long that it really just stabilized the atmosphere. So now the atmosphere, while it's trying to recover, because the sun does that this time of year, that sun is strong. While the atmosphere is trying to recover, it's having a tough time. The clouds are still hanging in there in many places, and it was enough rain to really stabilize the atmosphere. So it has that much more work to do as we go into this evening. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to get an isolated severe storm this evening, but based on what we're looking at here, looks like there will be just a scattering of thunderstorms out there, and some of them could be kind of poking through that severe limit.
Yeah, and it does look like by this model standards that most of the activity for today is going to stay kind of south of Interstate 20. That's also where you've seen some better breaks in the clouds, so you may have some of that better energy. We're going to be watching it, but yeah, I do think it's really just going to be a scattered event. I think really it's just going to be a scattered event for tonight. The coverage for tomorrow looks a little bit more widespread. It stretches a little bit further north, so it really encompasses the whole area. And as the system is approaching for tomorrow, it does look like it has a little bit more togetherness, a little bit more oomph.
Yeah, it's a technical term.
Yes, it is. The meteorological term.
Yes.
Yeah. And then this part of the system is going to kind of slow down and linger and continue to bring us some rain through early Saturday. Now, here's the thing. The model I'm using here, I'm using because it was right about what we saw this morning.
Can I ask you what you're using?
This is the extended HER.
Okay, got it.
It was right about what we were going to see this morning. So that's what I decided to use. The graph goes a little bit further out. It shows you the rest of Saturday. This is as far as this one will go for the moment.
Right.
It shows you the rest of Saturday, and it says maybe we have some showers in the morning too, maybe some moderate rain in the morning, and then a few little sprinkles in the afternoon.
Not much to write home
really
about.
Not much going on. So we'll see when we can get both of our short range models into view. If we need to keep Saturday as iffy weather or not, because if it's just that early morning thing, then I really think you're going to have an easy time doing some outdoor activities. Even if it's like this, you're still going to have an easy time doing outdoor activities on Saturday.
Yep. But Sunday is definitely the best day of this weekend. Probably the best day we're going to have over the next 10 days. I'd venture to step out and say.
Cool and dry. And I really do mean cool, because look at our temperatures now. The closer we've gotten to this front pushing through, the cooler the temperatures have seemed like they're going to be. So we might have some mid 70s.
Oh, that's going to be fantastic. And the morning's going to be great
low
too.
50s.
Oh,
that's a great first weekend of May.
That's
I gotta
great.
tell you. No complaints.
Yep.
Because even if we do see rain on Saturday, it'll clear out by the evening. So Saturday night is going to be good for you to do some stuff outside with friends. Get up early on Sunday. You're getting ready for church. You're getting ready for your Sunday activities. You can wear a little long sleeve. You can wear a long sleeve in the afternoon.
That's crazy.
In the sun.
Yeah.
So
you can wear a long sleeve, a suit, and a sweater. Why not? And then a jumpsuit.
Right. You might just wear everything.
You sure it's May? You sure? Because I'm looking at that. That's the first really.
Looks April-y.
It does.
The rain chances look April-y too. So that little dip in temperatures that you see again at the end of next week comes along with an increase in rain coverage yet again. Not surprising.
We're looking at about 81, by the way, for Mother's Day. So about 10 days out. It's pretty typical for Mother's Day here in the Deep South.
Yeah. Here we go. No, that's not what I want.
I'm glad you're doing that, not me, because I'd be looking all day. I just start hitting random buttons.
Here we go.
There you go. There you go.
This is what I want.
All right.
All right. So we already looked at this. This is rain coverage for the next few days. We looked at the more definitive models that are shorter range. This one, though, showing you some stuff going on Saturday afternoon that we weren't able to show you. So it's possible. That's why we're leaving it kind of iffy. But nothing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then by Tuesday night, Wednesday morning.
Impressive system coming through.
Some nice rain coverage. And that looks like maybe it continues to bring us rain.
Yep.
Through the end of the week. So,
but then go push a little further.
Alert for you.
And then we get into the weekend. Can you go any further than that, or are you maxed? Okay. Yeah. So we think by Sunday we might be able to get a few showers going. This is Sunday of next week, Mother's Day. Excuse me, Sunday in 2 weeks, Mother's Day. So we will keep an eye on it for you. Of course, we'll have an update for you coming up later on today on WLBT. Anything else going on?
I don't think so.
What was for lunch today?
More of that leftover pasta. That
Oh yeah, I had ribs.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I had the ribs. Tide stick's already been activated, so that's good. I had the ribs. I also had a little thing of spaghetti that came with it. It's so good. I got to ask them what they're doing to the ribs. It's like they're sweet. Does that make sense? Like the sweet, tangy kind of barbecue, not like, I don't know. It's really good. I love it.
Sweet barbecue.
It's really good. And I eat it with a fork and knife, if that tells you anything. So, you know.
Is it easy to?
But they told me today to stop eating the bone. So. No, I don't eat that part. It's very easy. It comes right off. So that's the thing. I mean, literally the bones are clean when I'm done. Then I had the spaghetti, and I had greens because I got to get my vegetables in.
Absolutely.
But the greens, they were really good too. Everything was good. And what else you got going on?
I had a fruit roll up. You're eating your greens, and I'm eating my red 40, I guess.
What's a red 40?
The dye.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, the red 40 is good for you, I hear. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yesterday I met with Steve McCraney. He's executive director of MEMA. We talked about this last night, but just a little bit of an update. It's a controversial thing. People are upset. People are impatient, deservedly so. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of folks that did not have insurance. Now let me explain something to you. I was down in Walthall County, and this affects Walthall, Pike, Jefferson Davis, and Smith counties primarily. It's the March 14th and 15th storm system. Most of the people that lost their homes did not have insurance. Most of the people who had their homes damaged did not have insurance. Most. And when I say most, I don't want to get too technical, but a lot of the numbers that when I was looking them over, it looked like 1/5 of the people had insurance. 1/5 had, 4/5 did not. So they're dependent on any kind of help, and they've been getting it, but not the help that they really need, which is the money to rebuild, whether it's grants or whatever. You've got folks living together, you know, and I'll tell you something about Steve McCraney. He gets it in the sense that the folks that are living together now, they're not in their homes, they're in houses, they're in dwellings, and he knows that. Okay. But I pressed him because everybody who I've run into in those areas, they tell me, Roy, we're not going to get funding. Roy, we're not going to, and they should be worried because, you know, we're in a precarious time. Okay. And I say that because we saw what happened in North Carolina with Helene. We also just learned that Arkansas didn't get their funding, and the country doesn't have a lot of money. In fact, if you were to look at, the bank account, it's not good. If I were overdrafted $37 trillion, I might be in trouble too. I wouldn't feel so good, and I wouldn't be eating ribs and spaghetti for lunch either. But anyway, I digress. The point is, you have to look at the whole situation, right? And so I asked him, I said, listen, a lot of people are scared of these variables that are out there. And he was quick to say, listen, this is not the same situation as Arkansas. Okay. He said Arkansas filed a completely different kind of aid. Okay. So it's quick to say, well, they didn't get theirs and we're the same thing just because we're one state away. He said they're totally two separate things. He said our threshold for getting disaster relief has to be in the 5 million category. He was at 18.2 when he filed his paperwork. So that's where he's coming from. Now, he's in, I don't want to call him a politician because he's not really elected, but he's in the political realm. We are not. Okay. Our job is to ask the questions. And I had an opportunity to ask the question. I was totally there for another reason, but I had the opportunity to ask the question. Not only did I ask it 3 different ways, to the point where people around were kind of laughing, like,
are you done?
But honestly, but they were very, I'm just going to let you know, I get upset when I find anybody in politics or in the government to not be upfront or forthright. I believe in the transparency. I don't care who elected you, who put you in office. I don't. It's that transparency and all that. And so I'm just telling you that he not only answered the questions, he wasn't quick about it. He wasn't terse about it. He was like, let me explain. And he said over and over again what he said, which we did a story on last night and I posted on my Facebook. For some, it's controversial. Okay. I'm not getting involved in the politics of it. I'm asking the question about, are we getting our money? And that's really the most important thing. So I just want to be clear on that.
Yes.
And regardless of your political affiliation, it's irrelevant in this case. When people are affected by a disaster, it doesn't make a difference. They have to be helped. We can also have that debate about people that need to have insurance and all that. It's a great debate to have. But unfortunately, that's getting outside of my realm. Okay. And we could do a whole podcast on that. But this issue particularly is one where if I'm going out to eat, Okay. And I'm at the buffet there in Walthall County, and everybody's coming over to me and they're talking about, hey, are we going to get aid? And I have a potential position or angle to ask the question of the guy who filled out the application. I'm going to ask it. Right.
Yeah.
I'd be remiss not to ask it. And I'd be like, I'm just a dopey weatherman doing my job. No. So I want you to know that I've asked it and our station's on it, and we're going to continue to follow up on it. And I'm going to continue to remind them, but they won't need me to remind them because they're on it. They already did the story last week, if you remember, about Arkansas not getting its aid. So anyway, thank you for letting me do the little, I wasn't standing on a soapbox. I'm just explaining why it's important to get these people to answer these questions, because even though he said we're within the window where he was not alarmed by the amount of time that's elapsed. He said it is a 5 to 7 week window. And he said, it's really 7 weeks and we're at week 5. And he said, we're in the time frame. I'm not concerned about it. If we don't get that aid, you better believe this station's doing a story on it. If we do get that aid, you better believe this station's doing a story on it. And that's on period.
Facts.
With a T. Folks, thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. And in fact, we appreciate meteorologist Elise Ushman so much that we're going to see her again in a few minutes over on Studio 3. That's exciting.
It is.
And then WLBT News at 4 and 4:30. Maybe they won't put you outside today because I'm sweating in here. I can only imagine how sticky it's. Okay, good.
I did ask if I could go outside on Monday, though. It's gonna be
You better believe. I want to go outside on Monday. Like outside, like not coming here. Anyway, you kind of read my mind. Yeah. All right. So then she'll be on WLBT News at 4 and 4:30. I'll be on WLBT News at 5 and 6. Probably gonna have some stuff on radar about that time. So check us out if you've got some evening plans. And then we'll be back here at 6:30 to talk more about this developing weather situation that we are basically in the grips of for the next 36 hours, I would say safely, maybe 48 hours if you really want to take into account that we're going to have some leftover lingering showers Saturday. But the chance for severe weather is again briefly this evening. It is again tomorrow evening, and then scattered showers Saturday. Does that kind of sum it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sums it up.
Sunday's going to be beautiful. I can't wait for it.
I can't wait either.
We're going to talk more about that too coming up. Hey, if you missed any of this, shame on you. But that's okay. All is forgiven. You can watch us on Facebook as it will continue to loop around in circles ad nauseum. Until then, folks, have a great rest of your afternoon. Try to stay dry.